in the course?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you okay? Are you comfortable with Google Hangouts and how to use it?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Okay, good. All right then. I'm going to move this over and out of the way, and then I'm going to get started. Whoa, it's slow. Okay, can you see my screen?
You-
Oh, okay. Let's see. Okay, now can you see my screen?
Yes, it's getting there.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So welcome to the Level 1 Personalized Competency-Based Learning. It's a mouthful, but it's personalized and competency-based mixed together because most personalized systems are going competency-based, and competency-based learning includes an awful lot of personalized learning. So I just decided that we would just cover everything all at once. Okay, great. Okay, so the first, for tonight, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over Teachable Workflow, which is where my courses, where all those videos are that you already saw are held. We're going to be looking at the Google Hangout and sharing back and forth with one another. We're going to be going over, oh, that should say Google Classroom, not Google Drive. We're also going to do, we're going to go over expectations. It originally was registrations, but we ended up not having enough graduate credit people to run the course, so we don't have to worry about any of the graduate credit stuff. And then we're going to create a Google site, and we're going to use it as our portfolio for our final project. How familiar are you with Google Sites?
Not familiar with it. I don't think.
Okay, nope.
I haven't used it that much.
Okay, not a problem. Okay, so about me, I'm going to go from the bottom and up. So you said you started teaching a long time ago, and so did I. So this is my 31st year in public education, and I've had a number of different roles. About 20 of my years were in the classroom. I've taught and coached at elementary, middle, and high. I've been an instructional technology specialist in Dorchester District 2, if you're familiar with them. I am also an adjunct professor at the College of Charleston. Most recently, I was a personalized learning and technology integration coach in Charleston County. And now I'm president of my own company, Cultivating the Learning. So I'm not in any public schools right now as an employee, but I do work with them as an independent coach. So that's what I'm doing right now, and that's how I'm able to build these courses and offer them, is because I'm not locked down to the regular teacher workday anymore.
So are you retired? Have you retired?
So I'm not officially retired. I resigned from my position. I didn't have enough years in, and I didn't have enough time in, like I wasn't old enough to retire officially. So what happened was we got a new superintendent, and she didn't have the same vision as the former superintendent, and she pretty much dissolved the ed tech department and went one-to-one overnight. So everybody got a device, and there weren't any coaches left.
Wow.
Yeah, so when that happened, I kind of felt like that I had a lot to offer people, and I didn't want to not be able to help teachers anymore. And the whole reason I went into coaching was because when I was a teacher, I was able to help 125, 150 kids a year. But as a coach, I can help exponential number of kids, right? So So that's what I'm doing right now. And I might go back, you know, if I can get a good coaching position with a school district, I might do that again. But for right now, I'm enjoying this. Plus, my mom's not well, and I'm taking care of her and watching out for her, and this enables me to do that. So, yep. Okay. So the why behind personalized competency-based learning. You know, there's a saying, when you know better, you do better. And the cartoon on the right kind of helps us to see what we've been doing for so many years, right? And everybody has to take the same exam, and they have to climb that tree. But why does the elephant need to climb that tree? It's not going to help him in his future. It's not going to help the seal. It might help that monkey because, of course, he's made for climbing trees, so he's going to do great. I don't know if you've noticed this, being in education almost as long as I have, but I feel like the people who are drawn to education are the same type of people, and those are the same people who were successful in schools. And so we've kind of locked out all those other people who learn in different ways or have different goals. And so the personalized competency-based learning takes all of that into account. You know, it asks, what are your long-term goals? You know, what are your short-term goals? What do you think you might want to do in 10 years? How about 20 years? And then as teachers, we're thinking about that, and instead of making everybody climb that tree, we might say, wait, you want to be a track star? All right, well, you're going to run around the tree, you know? So it's that kind of a thing where we're still educating them. Oh, it's Dave. Hold on. Hey, Dave. Yeah, we're on. Okay, are you, go to your calendar. I think I sent you, and make sure you're in your Gmail. And do you have a spot on your calendar that has today's meeting?
I actually did not have it on my calendar.
You don't either. Okay. All
I
right.
think that my email,
Yeah.
you sent all the just different.
Mm-hmm. The email with the directions, Dave, there's a link there, but I can also just say it to, oh, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to put you on speaker. I'm going to go into the thing and see if I can just call you. Oh, I think I just locked myself out. Okay, hold on. I have to rejoin. I think I'm going to have to say it to you right now. I don't think I can invite you in the whole thing. All right, I'm going to just tell you what it is. So if you can just up on your address bar, type this in.
Okay.
It's meet.google.com.
Okay.
/ V as in Victor, J as in John, I as in Indigo, hyphen, J, T as in Tom, N as in Nancy, I as in Indigo, hyphen, M as in Mary, O, G as in Go. Yep. Okay, good. I'm going to hang up. Feedback. Hey there. Sometimes, just so you know, sometimes it helps if you put your headphones in, so you don't get feedback. And let me see, I think my recording might have turned off. Let me just see.
Do I need anything open, like tabs or anything?
Can you see you can't see my screen. Can you see me?
I can see you.
Okay. And if you have headphones, if you could put them in, that would help.
You have headphones? No. Mine, I'll try to get some. I'm asking my son.
Okay.
Yeah. Go get my big ones out of the car. They're in my truck. All right.
All right. So, okay, good. Dave, how familiar are you with Hangouts?
We did it the one time back in Charleston. No, I think we did it twice. So
Okay.
a little bit. Yeah, I may take me a little bit to recall. But
Okay. Just as a quick refresher, in the top right-hand corner of your screen, you can see the three people
yep.
symbol, and that lets you know who's here. And then the one next to it is chat. So if you have a question, you can just type your question in there, and then I'll see it during the presentation. When it comes time for you to share your screen with us, then you would tap on your screen, and then there's a Present Now button in the bottom right-hand corner, and that means that you'll take over the screen. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
When you say tap on my screen, like just anywhere on the screen or where my face is?
It's anywhere inside the window that the Google Hangout is open in. And if you click once, a toolbar will pop up from the bottom, and then if you tap again, it'll disappear. Yeah, go ahead, try it. Yep, that's fine. Anywhere on the screen. Did a white bar pop up at the bottom?
Yeah.
Good, good. Okay. Right.
I got it.
Right. Okay, good. And then if you want to mute, like if your dog is barking or something, you can tap on the microphone, right, to mute it. Right.
Yep.
Okay?
That could happen. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Absolutely. And kids and whatever. All right. So I'm going to present now, and I'm going to come back to. Let's see. Here we go. And I'm going to go back into present mode. So I just introduced myself and my background, which you already know, Dave, so we can keep going. All right, and here we go. It's black right now, it's loading. I think my computer's struggling. Here we go. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so we were just talking about the why behind personalized learning, and that, you know, with this cartoon, you can see that, you know, for years and years, schools have been asking everybody to do the same thing, no matter what their goals are, no matter what they come to school with, no matter where they plan on being in 10 years. And so the why really behind the personalized competency-based learning is that when you know better, you do better. And now, you know, with all the research that's been going on for really over 25 years, we can see that we can help all of these people, you know, all of these learners to be their best. They might not all climb that tree, but they might also not need to climb the tree, you know? So we might need to be able to figure out how we can help them meet their goals and be, you know, reach all of our educational goals, and everybody be, you know, happy, because so many people are not happy in education and with education. So, okay. All right. So for this course, because the school district Gmail accounts cannot be used in non-school Gmail accounts, you have to have a personal account. So I know that the two of you do. You signed up for it and I already have it, so we can just move on from here. Just one thing that I do want to share with you, over here on the right-hand side, where it says use my current email instead. So Dave, you've got a Comcast email. So if you, let's just say you use up your free 15 gigs, right, and you want more storage, you could click on use my current email address instead, and instead of getting another Gmail, you put your Comcast in, and then you don't have one more email, but you've got a whole new drive, right?
Okay.
So that's why people can do that. And if people are like, I don't want a Gmail because I don't need another email, then you can just point them to that and say, great, because you don't need to. All right, so the agenda for tonight. I did my introduction. I'm going to have you guys do your introductions. We're going to talk about academic expectations. We're going to go into Google Classroom. We're going to do some exercises, and we're going to build a Google portfolio so that you've got the structure, you've got the basics down that you need to be able to use the portfolio throughout the rest of the semester. If we get through all of that in time, then we're going to do what's on the right hand side, which means we're going to go to these different sites that are linked here, and they're also already in Google Classroom for you. These are mostly nonprofits that offer an awful lot of really good free resources. So this is where I've gotten a lot of really good stuff, so I figured that you guys could click on it, you know, poke around, decide if it's your cup of tea. The thing with personalized learning is there are some things that you're going to need to do, but then there are other things that are optional. So this is going to be optional. And it could be something that you just use as a resource, you know, that you can come back to and say, I'm ready for it now, and now I have these links. The one thing you need to know, the way that these companies build their mailing list is by giving out free resources. So it's kind of like a symbiotic relationship, right? I'll give you something for free, but you have to give me your email, and then, you know, I can send you stuff sometimes too often and you unsubscribe, and then sometimes once a week, or it's just enough, you know. So you just do what's good for you. All right. Okay, let's back up, and because the first thing is introductions. Okay, so Joanne and I were already talking, and I know, Dave, that you know Joanne. But what I'd like for us all to talk about is, you know, a couple of things about ourselves, and then what are your goals, you know, maybe for the year or maybe for a few years. It could be you know, a personal goal that you have. It could be a professional goal. It could be how you're going to integrate the personalized learning. You know, what I have found to be the most powerful with any class is the people in the class. And because it's virtual and it's distant and it's online, you know, we only really have 3 opportunities to talk to one another. Now, you guys are lucky because you work together, so that's really good for you guys and for Savannah too. But I don't know you. So as a part of that, what I'm going to ask you to do is, Joanna, if you would go first, and if you would click for the share my screen, and then we'll all see you, and I'm going to hit stop presenting so that you can take over.
Where do I find that share my screen?
Okay, so if you click anywhere on your screen, down on the bottom right, it says present now. Sorry, I reworded it. Oh, you know what? You know what, though? I'm wrong, because that's going to share your screen, and we just want to see you. So when you speak, we can see you. So you can, you're good.
Now?
Yep.
Okay. So what do you want me to talk about?
So
I already told you about my
you did. So tell us about your long-term goals, and, you know, is there anything particular in your school that you want to change, or that, you know, that you're like grabbing a hold of, like what motivates you? Could be running, you know, just so that we can get to know you. What are your interests? Things like that.
My expectations or my goals, I have no idea how long I'm going to stay. You know, I love to teach. I don't want to waste classroom. So I not tired of it. At the moment, I'm good. Grabbing on and changing anything. I'm new to this school.
Oh, right.
So, it's really new school too. I really, I am a go-getter. I like to make changes and stuff, but right now, I'm kind of like, I am the math department chairperson.
Your first
We have a
year?
whole- Yeah, we have a whole new math department. Everybody's new.
Wow.
Yeah, I did not want that role. So I kind of, because I came from the middle school, I'm in the county, they know, I was chair at the 8th grade level, and so I wasn't really, I'm learning high school math too. I'm only certified 6-9, so I'm not certified at that secondary level. I have no desire to move any higher. I told my superintendent that. I don't want to take a test. So, my goal is staying where I'm at, teaching Math 1 at the high school level. There is a possibility North Carolina's adding a new 4th level math, because students have to pass 4 maths to graduate from high school. Some students can't do that, as Dave and I know.
Yeah.
I teach out of room full of them, and it's like impossible for them to pass 4 maths. So there's a possibility that, and that could be for senior, and you do not have to be certified at the secondary level to teach that class, because basically it's 5th through 8th grade math. It's like the placement that community colleges use for math. So it's basic math skills. So I could teach
Wow.
that class. So that's a possibility.
Yeah.
But Math 1 is where I want to stay. I enjoy Math 1.
Mhm.
I think I could go up to Math 2, and I don't know what it calls all your high school math, so, and I don't even know familiar with math classes, but, so that's kind of where I'm at. I'm kind of, sitting back, observing, right now, this year.
Yeah.
And looking at everything,
Yeah.
the whole picture.
Yeah. For that, if they do that, that
That's
community,
what level math.
yeah, that 4th level math or community college math or whatever they're doing, the competency-based learning might really work well there, because those kids are probably disenfranchised, right? They probably think they're no good at math, they can't do math, I'm not a math person, right? All that stuff. And when you use competency-based learning, you basically say, here's a chart of everything you need to learn, and you get to fill in the boxes as you go. And then they start to see progress, and they're actually seeing progress, So that's where it's so valuable, is that they can say, I'm up to 12, you're only up to 8, or, things like that. And at the same time, they end up, if you're able to build the culture in your room, I've seen teachers who they say to the kids, you're 3 ahead of everyone else. Do you want to take a day off and instead of learning today, help somebody else? And so then you've got a whole different mentality of, hey, John, I'm 3 ahead and I need somebody to help. Would you like me to help you? Or you can say to John, you can ask anybody who's 3 ahead, and they're allowed to stop and, they can take a day off and help. So, it's that culture that could be so powerful. It works in all the other maths too. Like in South Carolina, we do EOCs, and it's Algebra 1, Geometry, then Algebra 2, then it goes Trig Pre-Cal, and then Cal, and then AP.
Go back.
Yeah.
Today.
You're what?
I said we want it to go back to that.
Yeah.
Like Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2. Right now it's Math 1, Math 2, Math 3. They're adding Math 4 next year, which basically pulls everything in together. Geometry's kind of worked out a lot.
Yeah. Really? Wow. Are they doing any financial? Are they thinking of adding like a financial course? Because that's all numbers.
That is added in the history curriculum now. Interesting.
I thought they were taking away a history so that they could add the math. It's being offered under history?
It's new to that curriculum.
Huh, like social studies?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
I would love to do more,
right?
but
Right,
right now we do have a personal finance class,
yeah,
individual, but I don't know where things are going.
right, right. All right. Is there anything else you want to share with us?
I don't think so.
All right then, Dave, you're on.
Sure. I think what's kind of unique and awesome about this situation with Joanna is that career-wise, we're in a similar spot.
Mm-hmm.
I think, joining this class, and we were both looking for similar things. So, in the classroom, this really, we started talking about those kinds of things with kids that what Joanna's really good at. And we've talked about what things she's good at, and I've never dealt with a regular ed teacher so in tune to knowing how kids learn, which has always been the thing that I've come in and said, talk about those kinds of things. And so it's a unique situation where I think both of us are seeking the same thing. And so, I said I was excited to start this class because I'm hoping to really get personalized with this, that, we talked to you about really getting specific about the kids in our classroom and then also her other kids. But I think these kinds of things, and we've already started to see some differences, and I think, eventually maybe we touched on it, but Joanna can talk about some of the things we've already seen, like those kids who couldn't get it done, don't think they're good at math.
Yeah.
And trying to change that, the way we're doing things, so that we're getting away from brick by brick. Here's I'm talking about this, now you do this, and the practice thing. And so I think that's where, as we go forward, hopefully that's what we can share this class and tailor it to that, because we've already had a lot of talk about what we want to try to do, and I've emailed you, I've asked you, like, how do we get feedback quickly, how can we do, and Joanna already did the Go formative, and
Good.
so she's really, it's really awesome for me to be able to work with her and share these same goals and try to learn and try to do things differently. And so, as I said, I'm just really looking forward to it, and then we can really put it into practice like right away. So whatever we do in class, G and I will be talking about it, we'll be doing it, we'll be trying it.
Good.
And so hopefully, it makes a difference with the kids. And,
Right.
And it works for them, and it works for us at, like where we're at, that we're getting something out of it. It's not the same as.
Right, right. All right, very good, very good. All right, let's move to academic expectations. So what I want to do is, actually, let's go to Google Classroom because the outline and syllabus are in Classroom. So both of you have already joined the Google Classroom. You use the code. So if we can, let's just, I'm going to minimize this window. Oh, no, you know what?
So how do so like when I click on Classroom, obviously you guys disappear.
Right.
Is that right?
That's okay. Yep, that's fine. So if you go to Classroom, the first, in the stream, the first item says PCBL 60 PD hours course. And if you click on that, it'll open up. And this originally was the syllabus for College of Charleston. But because I was telling Joanna earlier, we had to have a minimum enrollment for people who wanted graduate credit, and we weren't able to match it. So, we're not doing the graduate credit. Just as a quick run through. For communication, I'm available to you. You can email me, you can text me. Calling me might be hard just because I'm usually in the classroom with people. But if you text or email me or text me and tell me there's an email, sometimes that works too. I will get back to you. We've got the standards and objectives are really very specific to the College of Charleston, so we don't really need to worry about that. I also, for the College of Charleston, had to do grading like the old-fashioned way, which kind of goes against the entire competency-based learning. So it's almost like a relief that nobody is doing graduate credit, because now I can just help you grow instead of trying to grade you and say you got 3 points here and you got 4 points here and you didn't do this, so you lost it. That's not what competency-based is about. So the grading is just pass-fail, which it would have been anyway with College of Charleston. And what I do need you to do is, to get the 60 PD hours, you do have to complete the work. And what's going to happen is, and I'm going to scroll down past the goals and objectives. So the expected time dedication should be anywhere between 45 and 60 hours. It depends on how long it takes you to do your hands-on tasks with kids in the classroom. So what I tried to do was, I tried to because for PD hours, I have to prove that you did 60 hours of work. So I basically tried to inflate the time, considering the fact that some people might be slower. And so then I kind of gauged it by whoever might be the slowest person, that it shouldn't take them more than 60 hours. Okay, so you might get it done in 45, you might get it done in less. And especially because you're working together, that you guys might really get it done quickly, because that's really powerful. All right, so for the outcomes, what you should expect to learn is that you're going to have an understanding of the expectations of competency-based education. You should have a basic knowledge of what the South Carolina Department of Ed's Office of Personalized Learning concept is. So I'm going by their concept because I'm focused on South Carolina teachers, but it's not set in stone. They're just kind of like a guide that I'm using. I'm also hoping that you can reach the developing level, and basically that means the middle level. So proficient is the top, developing is the middle, and entry is low. So everybody pretty much should be at entry level right now, and I'm just hoping that you'll grow to the second level. And then of course if you grow 2 levels, that's even better. And then I want your confidence to be increased with personalized learning. And you're also going to be practicing using tools that you can hopefully then turn around and use in your classroom. And it could be a tool you've been using all along, but you might all of a sudden say, I never thought to use it like that, so it could be how you're using the same old tool, and that's okay too. You know what I just realized? I should just present so that you can see what I'm looking at as I look at it. All right. Assessment and grading, I'm not going to read all of this to you. You can take the time to read it as it'll populate for you. Can you see my screen now? Okay, good. The online discussions are going to be the most important, because that's where really you grow, because other people will be able to give you feedback, and feedback is super important for growth too. So there are going to be, I tried to collect a variety of different media so that you could listen to a podcast, you could read a blog, an article, you watch a video, you might decide you want to do all of them. You can't know everything about a topic, so try not to get hung up on, oh, I didn't learn that one thing because that was in the video and I didn't watch it. because there are a million sources for all of this stuff. So the first thing you have to do is tell yourself, it's okay if I don't know everything, as long as I'm learning something, okay? So the discussion forums are going to be important, because that's where we get to kind of banter back and forth and ask, you know, did you think about this? I'm also going to be trying to model for you ways that you can use the discussion questions in classroom with your kids. One of the things that we saw while coaching is that students don't really have the social skills to disagree with somebody civilly. And sometimes adults don't either. So we're going to be using sentence stems. And if you haven't used them before, I think you're going to love them. And if you have used them before, hopefully you like them. They give the kids an easy way to broach a subject that's difficult. You know, like they learn how to say things like, you know, thank you for taking the time to do that. You did a nice job. I'd like to zero in on this one point that you made, and then they can either agree or disagree. They can also learn how to piggyback on other people's ideas instead of just regurgitating what the last person said. So we'll be using a lot of those tools, and I'll be demonstrating all of them in video for you so that you can learn them. The difficulty that I have is that I have so many tools that I want to show you, and I have to remember that we only have so much time. So I'm going to try and really focus and give you some of the most valuable ones, or maybe I will do videos of multiple ones and then let you decide which one might work best for you. And that's something that also you'll be able to do with your students. Once you teach them how to use something and they know 3 tools, then a part of the power is in their being able to say, you know what, this tool really worked well for me, so that's the tool that I want to use, because now they're learning about themselves. So that's where that is. Okay, the course activities. We've got 3 online meetings, 6 self-paced learning modules, and then each module has all of your activities that you have to do. Each one has a post task, which means once you've gone through all of the content, normally you would take some kind of a formative assessment, but this is a hands-on, show me you can do it. So if you think of like what a plumber or an electrician has to go through, they can't just describe how to fix a pipe, right? They have to fix the pipe. So you have to actually dive in your classroom, take some risks, try some stuff. If it fails, that's not a problem, because you're going to have the opportunity to reflect on it and show that reflection in your portfolio, because most of the learning comes from the reflection. And so what I'd like this course to be is it's impossible to fail course, you know. As long as you're growing and you're learning, that's good enough. All right. Okay, so our dates are here in this document, and they're also posted in Google Classroom. I'm going to put all of these on a calendar and then share it out with you, so you can overlay that calendar onto your Google Calendar if you want, or you know, just make your own calendar. Underneath hands-on activities, here is the grading scale: emerging, developing, proficient. And we are going to be shooting for developing. We just want to move up 1 level. I'm going to have progressions for you to follow, and there's an example of a progression farther down in the syllabus. This is something that most people are not used to, especially in math. It's usually you're right or you're wrong. And what this does is it kind of gives room for, you made it halfway. You're halfway there, you know, and the kid can look at the progression and say, well, what do I need to do to get to where I need to be? And it's all laid out. So sometimes sometimes it's hard to create a progression, and I'm not expecting you to, but you can try for sure. All right, so this section right here is the course calendar and the outline, just so that you know what to expect. These are the topics that we're going to be going over. I added a not yet or digging deeper. So let's say you do all of these, activities, and you kind of feel like, I don't feel like I really have a grasp of it. Then I'm going to try and add something there so that you say, you know what, I think I need a little bit more. Or if somebody finishes it really quickly, or if they really loved it and they want to dig deeper, sometimes it's the same activity. So these ones that are in gray, you can ignore completely, or you can use as needed, okay? So I'm not going to go through all of this. You'll have time to look at it or just take it as it comes, as I release it. Okay, here is what a progression looks like. So for each of the weekly hands-on tasks, and again, this is the points from that I had to do for the College of Charleston. I really am just going to be focusing on, were you able to go from a 1 to a 2? Okay. But this is what a progression looks like. We start out at the proficient. This is mastery here. So for you, this is for creating a positive classroom culture. That's the task. Okay. And the progressions need to be in I can statements. So I can regularly engage and include students in the process of setting a positive climate and culture. I can regularly ensure all students have a voice, and you can do that through power voting as one example. I can regularly encourage student-created goals, reflection, and self-assessment for behavior. And this self-assessment is the student-created, and the self-assessment are the biggies. And I can provide feedback about inaccurate self-assessments, because a lot of the kids in the beginning, they give themselves 4 stars, but you had to tell them 6 times to stop tapping the kid next to them or something. So this is for you doing things. And then developing is easy. You're not quite here. Like, to get proficient really could take 5 years, just to be honest, okay? So let's say you say that you're somewhere in developing. I can model and talk students through the process of setting positive climate and culture in the classroom. I can talk students through whole group and individual goal setting, self-assessment, and reflection on their behavior. And I can do this cyclically. So what ends up happening is people will do it the first 2 weeks of school, and then they never do it again. And so at that point, it just really is decorations for the wall. And then this is where most people are. I can create the rules, and you put them up on the wall. I can post the rules. I can ask students to reflect on their behavior and self-assess, so they might do that once in a blue moon. And I can ask students to set goals for their behavior. So if you're not even at emerging and you get to emerging, then that's fine. But you'll do a self-assessment first so we know where you are, and then we're going to try and get you to move to the next level. So that's how this progression works. And the value here is that if you say, Eileen, I'm right here with emerging, you can see what you need to do to get to developing. Does that make sense?
It does.
Is it on a scale of 1 to 5, how intimidating is that? 5 being super intimidating.
I mean, I don't find it to be intimidating. I was thinking of that social studies class that you came into with the climate. We would have these same discussions that it really becomes like that, like you said, cyclical versus consistent. And then if you have different kids in the classroom from year to year, or even class to class,
Yeah.
what is required of you to create that can be different. And so to have to adjust and be good, say, well, these kids just won't, because that's what I said. These kids can't even talk to each other. How am I
Yeah.
going to work? So that's for that.
Yeah.
The practice, like you said, that you're on these kids, but no, that's not how we're going to start that. You need to say, and that's where
Yeah.
really it requires a lot.
It does. It does. And what you might find is that you might say, I'm already doing the first 2 things. I need to focus on the last 2 things just in emerging, and I might only be able to do that this year, because we only have 4 months left. And that would be okay, because You're doing something that you weren't doing before, and that's positive, okay? All right, Joanna, how about you?
Yeah, my thought is we're almost February and starting something new. Is that going to be frustrating?
What?
I
Yeah. Well, it doesn't have to be new. So at the beginning of the semester, I'm sure you went over the rules for your class, right? Are you guys block schedule or are you full year?
Yeah, we're blocked.
Block.
But I've
Okay.
had these students. I taught all of them in 8th grade.
Okay.
So they know my expectations. I feel like I have the positive climate and culture in my classroom.
Okay.
I, I have never had students that go up to their behavior though. That, looking in that emerging category right there.
Right.
Or reflecting on their behavior and self-assess.
Right.
So that's kind of where I see myself having to start.
Okay. And that's good. That's good. So what kids like change. If you said to them, you guys, I had you in 8th grade. I want to try something new, and I'd really like to do it with a class that I know I can trust. Would you be willing to help me try something new? They'll be all over that, don't you think? And then you can say, and getting their feedback is the most important part. So if you say to them, I'm going to try this out. I need your feedback. I need you to tell me how to make it better, what works, what doesn't work. By the end of the semester, you could have an amazing product then to launch next year with all of your classes, Okay, so that's what the progressions look like. And what I love about them is that it's so concrete what you have to do to move on, and in the last column, it says possible artifacts to link, because in your portfolio, you have to prove that you did it with your kids. So if you can upload, if you give them a handout and it's like a survey, you can upload a copy of it. If you posted your things on the wall, you take a picture of it, So anything that the kids are doing, you can take pictures of it during the process. You can, upload copies of whatever it is that you shared out with the kids. It's an open book for that one. Okay. Okay. The portfolio. This is again for the points system. If you need to be thinking about it as points, it still is emerging, developing, proficient. And so this is based more off of like the expectations for a college project, and so the explanation is confusing or incomplete. The elements might be missing. So if you just look at proficient, that's the easiest because you know what you need to do. The explanation is clear and concisely written with minimal errors. What needed to be covered is highlighted for others to mimic. Artifacts clearly show completion. So it sometimes it's like people use rubrics as a checklist, and the competency-based tries not to use checklists because then it's they did it or they didn't do it. And some of these are more, the ones that are higher quality rubrics are more vague, if that makes sense. Now, that being said, sometimes when you're vague, it gets you into trouble. So I understand if you start out doing checklists, if you're making any of these, that's fine. But you can see from these that it's more of a quality versus quantity is basically what happens. The discussion forum is based on, and this again was for College of Charleston, professionalism, critical thinking, and examples. But basically, that when people give you work that's not worth reading, it's frustrating. So if you just follow these 3 requirements, you should be giving us a solid post. And then we always want to be able to give feedback, so you're going to be responding to one another. it might just be one person you have to respond to, it might be two. It depends on how interesting the topic is, really. And then just attending the Google Hangouts is worth points, just to hopefully get people to show up. All right, questions about the expectations?
Good.
Okay. If there's anything on here that you say, you know, Eileen, I think it might be, it's you're expecting too much, or it's out of line with what we're doing, please feel free to give me feedback, because I'm completely open to it. All right, let me close that out. Let me see what we have in here, just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. I want to go over the LMS where all of the information is. So if you would, if you type in cultivatingthelearning.com, it should take you to your login for the course. And I just want to show you, I just want to go over, you know, how you can work your way through the course. Oh, you know what? Yeah, okay. Preview as like that. I'm going to switch windows, because this one is me as the teacher, and I want to look at it as the learner. Okay, can you see my left screen now, or just the right?
I see what you have there for level 1.
Is it big? Is it filling your screen? Can you see this one on top of it? No, I think I have to switch screens. Hold on. Okay. Now, as this comes in, good. Now, can you see the white background with the small icon? Okay. So this is what your screen will end up looking like. Down here, this says 17% complete. That's not accurate, because as I make things live, your percent's going to drop again, because now you have more activities to do. But this will should keep you in line for, you know, how much you need to do for the week. And I'm waiting for it to open. Okay. So you start from the top. You can start the next lecture. The welcome is where you need to begin. There's a video here from me explaining some stuff. Underneath here, please leave comments as much as possible, so that you're giving me feedback about, was the video effective? Was it helpful? If it's not, just let me know. If something didn't work, let me know. As you finish it, then you need to come up here to this complete and continue. And when you click on that, then you move to the next module. If you try to move to the next module without doing what it says, it's going to tell you that it's locked and you can't go. All right? So if you get that, that just means that you have to back it up, you know, and you missed something. It's basically what it means. Okay? Joanna, I know you said that you already had been in here and watched all the videos. Dave, have you had any time?
I did everything up to whatever was in there last night.
Oh, awesome.
Right?
Awesome. All right, great. Perfect.
The videos that you posted with getting comfortable with Google Meet,
Yep.
they said they were unavailable.
Did
I
they?
had to go to YouTube. So I don't know.
Was it?
They gave me a link to click on to go to YouTube.
Okay.
But it just said unavailable.
Huh.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
I did
first,
the same thing.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Thank you for letting me know. Let's see what they look like now.
They
Did-
pop up on,
Did they show up like this so that you could actually see?
the first one did, the bottom two did not.
Oh, I caught that, and it's fixed now.
Okay,
Yep,
very good.
yep, okay, good. All right, so that's basically the LMS. Just walk through it, do whatever, whatever is next in line. I'll try to make it as simple as possible. If something is not easy, please let me know, because this is a new system for me, so I'm learning it too. And that's pretty much all there is for this. I will continue to release things every 2 weeks. If you want it sooner, let me know. I can try to do that. Otherwise, I'll just keep it to 2 weeks so it's easy for everybody. All right, that's that. I'm going to close that window. And we'll go to Google. Okay. So now I'm back to Google Classroom. And Joanna, how much do you use Google Classroom?
I used it pretty frequently last year in my science classes,
Mm-hmm.
more than I have in my math classes.
Okay. All right.
I do have it set up already for my classes, and I have used it a little bit the semester's just started. So
Okay.
pretty much.
All right. What
Comfortable with Classroom.
what kinds of things did you use with your science class? Like what features in here did you use?
I did vocabulary. I would do, I remember slides where it was like a whole class presentation. Students had certain vocabulary words that they had to do a slide for.
Mm-hmm.
I've done Google Forms.
Mm-hmm. Good.
I can't think of anything else at the moment.
Okay. Have you ever used any of the discussion questions or the multiple choice questions?
I have used the multiple choice. I have not done the decision.
Okay. All right. Is YouTube blocked or unblocked in your district?
It's unblocked.
Oh, good.
We can, yes.
Oh, good. Okay. So that's something that you can do is share a YouTube video with kids through Classroom and then ask them to discuss it.
Right.
Yeah, so, okay, so I'll do a video on that to try and give you some ideas, especially for math. I'll focus on math. Okay, if you would, do you two know how to do side-by-side windows?
No,
Okay,
I don't.
okay.
I don't either.
Are you on a Mac or a PC?
I'm a PC.
Both of you? Okay. All right. So then your buttons are over on the right-hand side where mine are on the left-hand side. And you've got the X to shut the window. And then the middle one is to resize it. So if you click on the middle one, it's either going to expand your window or shrink it. So if your window, get it so that it's full size, and then hit that button one more time so that it comes down. And at that point, you'll be able to resize left and right. Now, what I want you to see is, I'm going to drag this off. If you want to have, what I tell people to do is, drag your window so that it's half of your screen, and then you're going to click on the tab and just drag it off, and now you can look at them side by side. Does that make sense? So if you have your Google Meet window, you want to have Google Meet on one side, and then you'll have, so that like I can show you things on one screen and then you can do them on the other screen. Does that make sense?
Is that, so what are we trying to open up? So if you're the left side here, what do you want the right side to be?
The Google Classroom. when you click on the tab and drag it off? Oh, because
Oh,
it,
there I go. I got it.
don't bring it too close to the top or it blows the whole thing up. Yeah.
I just left click, held it down on the tab, and then dragged it.
Okay.
Now I have two.
Okay. Joanna, how about you?
Yeah, I'm working on it. My computer is very slow. My internet
Okay.
is slow tonight.
All right. If you
I can't get it to pull up.
well, if you want to, can you just click back and forth then on the tabs? Can you get Google Classroom? Okay. All right. Then that's fine.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah, 'cause see, I'm still waiting for my to pull up.
Okay. All right. I'm going to drag this back over. And then I'm going to drag this back in. Okay. All right. So if we go into Google Classroom and we click on the classwork button, then all of these things were set to come in at a certain time. So I don't know if you're aware, but you can schedule things to come out, because you know how there's always that one kid who they get the notice that something was posted and then they do it and you're like, we were going to do that today. What, you know. So you can actually schedule them, right? And so I want to show you. Are you both familiar with that, with how to do that? Or do you want me to show you? Okay. All right, so can you see this right-hand side where I have the Create button?
Yes.
Okay. When you hit the Create button, I'm just going to say I'm going to do an assignment. Down here, where it says Assign, if you click on the side arrow, oh, I have to type something in first. Okay. Down here with the drop-down arrow, you've got Schedule and you've got Save Draft. So I know people who hit Save Draft, and then when they get to it in class, they come and they post it, but they've already set everything up. And then there are other people who schedule it so that it doesn't come out until right before that period starts, and then they know it's going to be there waiting for them. And when you do that, if you hit Save Draft, then it just sits up in the top of your window. See, you can see it right here where it says Draft. The kids can't see this, but you can. Let's see if I can blow this up. Can you see that right there? Okay. All right. So underneath orientation, there are some, I want to click on, if you would, click on the warm-up. And this is just a multiple choice question that I want you to try to answer. Okay, good. So over here now, you can see that as a very quick assessment for kids and who got it and who didn't get it, what are we looking at? So I can see that 2 of you turned it in. It's still assigned to me because I didn't answer it. And the answer to this actually is learner profile, because this is how we get to know, what did I just do? This is how we get to know, it's the profile of the student, right? So all of these things that are listed here are helping us to build a picture. If you were in business, this would be like your customer profile, right? So you can see how quick that was though, right? I can see immediately how my numbers are. Do I need to go over it again? Do I not need to go over it again? Okay? All right, so the next one is a brain dump for competency-based learning. So if you click on that and open it up, we have to hit View Question so that it opens up like this.
Do it one more time. Sorry.
Yep, okay. Let me back up. So when I click it here, it expands, but it doesn't show me where to type. So right here where it says View Question, when I click on that, I get to see this. This is the actual question opened. Now, here's the difficult part that you have to train your kids for. They always want to answer right here, but that's for a comment. Over here, where it says your answer, type your answer, turn in, that's what you definitely, this is where you type your answer, okay? So comments are, you have to train your kids, right? Comments are for if you have a question, if you need something clarified, you know, whatever. Private comments right here are between the student and the teacher only. So if the student says, I had to work until midnight last night, I have no idea what this is about, please let me do this in 2 days, right? That kind of thing. Then this would go to you and nobody would see it, okay? So what I want you to do now is, the question is, list, and so you can do it as a list if you want, makes no difference to me, or write it out in prose, everything you know or think you know about competency-based learning. So it's almost like a KWL. This is not a right-wrong exercise. This is to get you warmed up. Click on the attached screenshot to make sure you're answering in the correct spot. Now, where is the screenshot? That's strange. Yeah, and that's interesting. Oh, I wonder if it's in the personalized learning one. It is, because I did that one first, and then I copied it. Okay, click on personalized learning, the brain dump for personalized learning, and can you see the classroom discussion? See this link? And so if you click on that in your screen, it should open up. And this is what I just went over with you. But you could use this with your students if you want. It's already done, right? Correct is up here. Oh, it's not loading. Correct is up here on the right. Contact teachers on the right. Incorrect is down here. Okay? So let me ask you a question. If I were not here telling you this verbally, would this picture have been enough to help you understand where you needed to type your answer?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right, so I'm going to click back to the back to classroom, and then if you want to do the personalized learning one first, we're going to do personalized learning and we're going to do competency-based learning. So it doesn't matter which you do first, but go ahead. And the great thing about the discussion questions in Google Classroom, the great thing is that nobody can see anyone else's answer until after they hit submit, or now it's turn in. So you don't have everybody waiting for Susie Smarty Pants to type hers in, and then they read hers, and then they retype what she wrote. Okay? All right, I'm going to be quiet now. Oh, and I have to type something in so that I can see. Uh,
Should I just turn it in?
Sure.
I don't really,
All right, good. Okay, so what I want to show you is, and I'm not sure how familiar you are with the discussion questions, but when I hit the competency-based, and now I'm on the right side, I'm in teacher mode. When I hit the, where is it? Brain dump, competency-based. Okay, when I hit the activity, now I can see the 3 people who turned it in, and you're lining up right here. So if you're in a class of 25, you can see down here on the left-hand side the 25 who have not turned it in. So right away you see who's engaged, who's not engaged, who's doing it, who's not doing it. You can then read their answers right away as they're going through it. And in your head, you can be creating small groups that are then going to either meet with you or are going to move on to the next topic, right? And there was one more thing. Oh, I'm gonna shrink out of this. Over here on the student side, only after we turn it in can we see classmate answers. So when we click on that, now we can see everybody's answers. And it's not anonymous, right? So the kids can see one another's answers. And then this is where we would use sentence stems and say, okay, so what I want you to do is, I want you to use the sentence stems on the wall, and I want you to reply to one of the people. And if somebody else is already replying, pick somebody else, right? Because you don't want 2 people to have nobody answer them. But it's a high engagement. I'm working with a charter school right now in North Charleston that is pretty hard to handle. And the kids are either asleep, or they don't show up, or they're causing trouble. And this one teacher, she jumped on the Google discussion questions, and her kids come in now and they are engaged. As long as they're doing that, they're engaged. I'm not going to pretend like they're engaged the whole class, but she's gotten more out of them just using Google discussion questions than she has probably in any other activity. So one of my I taught elementary, so I had to learn how to teach math too. And I remember my math methods teacher making us make the kids write about math, and it was with, as simple as describe the characteristics of a number 2, or take on the persona of a number, or I'm a decimal, what do I do, that kind of stuff, so that the kids who are not logical sequential, so if they're left-brained, they're more logical sequential. So if they're right-brained, they're more creative. It's the creative kids who sometimes don't connect with math because we don't connect with the right side of their brain. So having them discuss math in that way, in like a creative way, could maybe reach them, and it could be a discussion question that is just about creativity, using math in a creative way. All right, questions about the discussion questions in Google Classroom.
is that setting, like Google, all the other Google like forms and stuff, don't they have that same button about like kids can read or see or know?
I think
Being shared, is that only in discussion?
it's only in discussion. Yep, yep. So now let's look at the answers. Having students demonstrate what they have learned either through assessments or quick formative assessments on the skills and concepts that were taught, yes. And mine is just about electricians and plumbers. Competency-based learning is being able to demonstrate a set of skills through assessments or tasks. The students demonstrate learning. Yes, exactly. Okay, so the one thing that what's difficult about competency-based learning is that we have to break everything down into little tasks. And so we'll get to that, you know, when we get to it. But it's the breaking a test down and saying, I'm covering 3 standards, and you can't mash it all together. You know, you have to say, the first 10 questions are on fractions. The next 10 questions are on decimals. Then, you know, so that how you create your tests and your assessments are super important. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So.
Can I say what scares me away from Google with math?
Yes.
Is the equation.
Yes.
Writing the mathematical equations. You have to have Equatio downloaded.
Oh.
And in order for it to easily put in math problems,
Uh-huh.
it's very difficult. And that's probably what scares me way more.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. All right, I will, I'm going to look for a solution to that, because if there is one, we'll find it.
There is a free program.
Uh-huh.
I think it's called Math Equatio or something like that.
Yeah.
That would have to be downloaded, I think, on each individual student computer.
Oh.
And I don't know how technical that is.
Mm-hmm.
The IT department, if that would have to be involved with them,
Oh.
or
No.
what, I don't know. I have not searched that out.
So is it specifically in Google Classroom, or is it in like
Yeah.
Docs
And,
or
yeah,
Sheets?
Google
Google Classroom.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go into the Chrome Web Store to see if there's maybe an extension. Let me just see.
I follow a teacher on Instagram.
Yep.
And he uses more Microsoft
Uh-huh.
instead of Google,
Mhm.
and it seems a lot easier.
Yeah.
But we're not in that program in our school. We're Google. So,
Right. Right.
Um,
All right, here's one right here that says Quick Equations, a fast shortcut-based equation editor. I'm going to add it to Chrome. And with this, why did it download? I've never seen that. All right, it's been added to Chrome. Type an equation below. X squared plus y squared equals. Addition uses multiplication derivative. So can you see this? Can you see what I'm looking at? Isn't that interesting? Have you ever seen Wolframalpha, by the way?
no, I haven't.
Okay, it's a search engine all by itself. And when you type it in, it will solve things for you. Like I just typed this in, right? And you can see that it automatically is coming up with different solutions.
Right.
Crazy, crazy. But anyway, the way that I got to this was because I added this quick equations. So I wonder if that will help you. Let's go into Google Classroom, because I don't feel like it did what I wanted it to do.
And I can't find I'm searching for the program that I have downloaded on my computer.
Yeah.
so that I can easily put the mathematical symbols and stuff in like Google Forms or whatever. Like if I did a quiz
Yeah.
or something.
Right.
That's the only thing that has scared me away from it.
Yeah, and I can understand that. That totally makes sense. Hmm. What if, what devices do you have? Laptops. Is that right?
This says, Joanna, did you say, what did you call the one before? What did you call
I
it?
think math equatio or something,
Yeah.
but I can't. I'm certain.
This one, yeah, I just did it. EQUATIO.
Ah.
It says Google lets you create,
Yes, that's it.
G
lets
Suite
you add
Google
mathematical equations, formulas, and more to
Yes,
documents.
And that's more for documents. So if they did it in a
Right.
doc.
It says forms. It's a perfect
Oh.
partner for Google Docs plus Sheets, forms,
for every.
slides, and drawings.
Nice.
My
Nice.
question is it something that students could add on their own, or do I have to have the tech department involved? I don't know.
Yeah, I
haven't
don't know
looked
either.
into it.
I'm going to go back to the Chrome Web Store and type in. Math Equatio. Here it is, yeah. Add to Chrome.
Yes.
So your IT department might have extensions blocked, but usually all you would have to do is request it, and then
Right.
all they have to do is flick a switch.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really easy to do.
Uh-huh.
But without that, it's very difficult for students,
Absolutely.
to use it.
Mm-hmm. And I wonder if there are add-ons too. But anyway, I will, I'll do a search for it, and then I'll do a video.
Okay.
Because then that'll
That would be
save
great.
everybody time. Yeah.
Great.
All right, good. All right, let me close out these extra windows. And let me jump back. Let's go back to, okay, so we did warm-ups. We did the multiple choice question. We did the 2 discussion questions. Let's see what else we have on here. We're not going to do that. I did that. We're not going to do that. All right, I'm going to jump back to my slideshow and see what we're supposed to be doing next. I think we're going to be moving on to, let's see, blow this up. Teachable, you guys both took care of that. Okay, we're ready to set up our Google portfolio. Okay, I'm going to show you some screenshots first. The portfolios are super powerful for learning, but also for student-led conferences that they can do with their parents or they can just do with you. What we've seen live is that the kids, the teachers learn by by trial and error how to prep the kids and what to include in the portfolio. So you just have to kind of accept that as a growth process. But once the kids get there, they are so confident in their presentation, and they talk about why they included something in their portfolio, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, what they need to work on for improvement, And this is like from as low as 3rd grade up to seniors. So what I'd like to do is the portfolio portion of this course is really to help you be the student and understand how to use the portfolio so that then you can turn around and use it with your students. Should you use it this year? If you want to, you know, if you're ready to take the risk. Do you have to? No. You know, if you want to live through the whole thing first and then try it out next year, have at it. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is, if you would, type in this address, bit.ly / and then the uppercase count. So it's PCBL for Personalized Competency-Based Learning, and then portfolio. So the first 5 letters are uppercase. And let me know when you're there. Make sure you have a dot in between the bit and the ly. BL. All right, look at your uppercase letters. Yep. So the Google Sites, so I build websites on the side using WordPress. Google Sites can be done with kindergartners. And it's so easy, it can be done with kindergartners, but it can be fancy enough to be professional. It's crazy. I have teachers who use Google Sites to build their lessons, and they will have like multiple stations built into Google Sites so that as the kids rotate, they just click on the link they need and everything they need is right there. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. So what we're going to do is, I just want to show this to you. You can include pictures, you can include text. You've got your titles at the top. You can put fancy pictures behind it or colors if you want. I'm going to click on template page, if you would click on yours as well. Here's where the portfolio comes in, right? And the thinking, the goal setting, the checking in, and then the reflection. So basically this is before I start, in the middle of what I'm doing, and then after I've finished. So where am I going is really your goal setting. The how will I get there is having a plan, and then the reflection is, did it work, basically. So Google Sites doesn't have an easy way for me to just copy this and give it to you, so you actually have to build it yourself. So what I did was, I just put some placeholders here so that if the kids were going to do it, like I would go through this with them one at a time and say, okay, add a text box, make it a heading, colorize the background. Underneath it, you're going to add more text and you're going to set your own goals. So what I need to teach you how to do is not how to do this whole page, but how to add pages, because for your portfolio, you're going to have 6 tasks. So we have to have task 1, task 2, task 3 through 6 across the top. And then your home is going to be the About Me page, basically. All right? Okay, so what I need you to do, and now I'm going to switch back over to the presentation because I've got these screenshots. Let me blow this up. I'm gonna show it to you first in still shots, and then we're gonna do it together live. Okay. All right. When we go to sites.google.com, you're going to see a plus sign down here in the bottom right hand corner, and that's what you're going to click on to create a new site. When you click on it, and we'll do this live, so just relax for right now. When you click on that, this is what will show up. It'll say right here for number 1, Untitled Site, and you're going to title that first. And then over here, what we're going to do is, instead of building it and then publishing it, we're going to publish it first so that we can get the address. And then you can share that with me. All right? Now, when we try to publish it, if I had typed in, let me back up, right here where it says Untitled Site, if I type in Eileen's site and then I hit publish, that's all I have to do is title it, right? When I do that, what happens is you're going to see this screen. It'll say Eileen's site at the top. It'll say Eileen's site right below it on the page. And then it's going to say Eileen's site right here as my web address. Okay? So notice how those 3 match. And notice how the apostrophe in Eileen's is gone. Everything is lowercase. And where I have a space, Google puts in a hyphen, because you can't have spaces in a URL. And then this is the actual complete name of the website, because it's sites.google.com/view/Eileen's site. If you're creating one with your students, it's going to be more like sites.google.com/ whatever your district is called, .k12.sc.us/Eileen's site. So when you are doing it, just get ready for those infinitely long URLs. And because you're fighting with everybody in the district who might be using the same name, you want to make sure you have a naming convention like 2020 Perrine, or 2020 period 5 Perrine. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to come up with some kind of a naming convention. Otherwise, you can't do like World War I, or you can't do fractions or something like that. So just so that you know, that's how that works. And then if you get a message like this, that's a great address, but it's already taken, then you just have to keep trying until you get one that hasn't been taken. So you can add numbers in here. You can add spaces, which would end up being hyphens. It won't let you uppercase. That's not going to matter. But, you know, you just keep trying until you get it. And then also in the publish, right here, this is important. So for your high school kids, you're probably safe because they're 13 and up. You can decide whether to have them check this off so nobody can find them, or they can let it be live so that people can find them, so that their work is actually for an authentic audience. You can also check this off, and then you can still get the link and like maybe share it with somebody across your district so that they can jury your kids' work so that it's an authentic audience instead of just for the teacher. Because let's just be honest, the kids really don't care what we think, but they care what other people think, right? So so those are the things that we're going to be looking at when we go to publish. And then once you've checked all these things off, you're going to hit publish. And then when you hit that publish button, then your page is live, but you're in edit mode. So up here on the right hand corner, you're looking for, it kind of looks like a paper clip, but you're going to click on that, and then this window will pop up. The entire link is here. All you have to do is click on copy link, and then I'm going to ask you to go back into Classroom and share the link in a Google form that is posted, because then that way we all will have, we'll be able to look at one another's portfolios as they are building. Okay? All right, I know that was a lot, so now I'm going to do it live. All right, let me shrink this down. Okay, so you guys, do you still have it side by side? Do you still have? Okay,
Now I'm good.
okay, all right. So I'm going to switch over to. Sometimes sites is not in the 9 square. So if I click, let me blow this up. If I click for a new tab, I usually get my Google window. And then up here, if I click on the 9 square, Google Sites is sometimes in here, but sometimes it's not. So what's easiest to do is just to open up a new tab and type in sites.google.com, and then it will automatically go to your sites because you're logged in. Okay. Now, if you haven't created any sites, this is just going to be empty with a message that says empty or something like that. Down here in the bottom right-hand corner, this is where you're going to hit the plus button. And after we've created these, you're each going to share your screen and show us your site. Okay?
It says add content, like skip this tour. Are we going to skip that? 'Cause you're gonna
Yes.
show us?
Yes. Yep. Okay, good. Joanna, do you have a site open? Are you guys both ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Joanna, do you have one open? Dave, can you hear her? Because I couldn't hear her.
I don't know. I can't hear. Joanna, are you there?
I see her, but I don't.
Sounds like she's frozen.
Yeah.
I muted my mic. My girl's speaking.
Oh, okay. Okay. Do you have a site
Here
open?
now.
Okay, good. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Do you have a site open that says your page title?
I'm spanning on Google Sites right now.
Okay. All right.
Not moving very fast.
All right.
for me.
Then I'm going to go slowly, okay? And then hopefully when yours pops in,
Yes.
then we'll be good. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay, so the first step is up here in the top left where it says Untitled Site. I just want you to name it. And you can just
So if
name
I
it.
Just put Dave's site like you did Eileen.
Exactly.
That's good.
Yes. And since I did that already, I'm just going to leave the apostrophe out. Okay. Now, Joanna, since yours is spinning, I'm going to show you a couple of things that you don't need to do before you publish. Okay. So for this, if I click on this background, notice now it says Eileen's site here as well. Okay. Right here, it says change image and change header type. So the first thing we're going to do is click on header type. And then you can choose title only, which means you really don't care about the graphics. You can choose banner, which is a little bit of background. Large banner is bigger, and then cover fills the entire page. So it's personalized. You get to pick the one you want, so pick whatever size you like. And for your page title, type in about the author, because that's what this page is going to be. And then we're going to hit change image. So let me know where you are.
Word change image.
On the left, can you see it right here? It's within the gray header, and it says change image next to header type.
I did the header type.
Oh,
And,
did you pick title only?
yeah.
That's why. Okay.
Oh,
So,
you picked that?
so do that after we do this, because your kids, you need to know how to do it because your kids will want to know. So pick one of the other three just for now.
Okay.
And then if there's going to be an image involved, now can you see change image?
When I change the, it's not fitting in the, it's like ABOU and then the T skips down. Oh, I just spam
Oh, okay. So with that,
I got it.
okay, good.
I
You
just expanded the box.
Okay, good. Here's the thing that I love, especially with middle schoolers and high schoolers. Make sure you don't say, grab the blue balls and stretch them.
I'll make sure not to do that. Alright, so mine still does not say, it says change image, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so now, right here, you can, if you hit select image, which is what we're going to recommend that the kids do, they have a gallery of pre-made pictures or just a solid color or confetti or whatever. So you can say to them, if you want to play with pictures, do it on your own time. Pick one of these as your background and hit select. And it's done. So if it's something that is special to them, right, then you can have them upload an image of, whatever they want it to be. But usually, they'll just spend 2 hours trying to find the perfect picture for the top of their website. All right, Joanna, has your thing stopped spinning yet? I know. Check to make sure your microphone's not muted.
It did, and then I clicked something, and then it started.
Spinning again. All right. I'll tell you what. I'm going to go through it, and then I'll also post. Oh, good.
No, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you? I'm still spinning.
Okay.
It's
Then I'm just going to ask you to watch carefully, and then I'll also post a video of it so that you'll be able to go back and do it, but you'll already be familiar. Does that help?
yeah.
Okay. All right, then Dave, once you've named your site up here in the top left, we're going to head straight over to the right and hit the publish button.
Okay.
All right. So you can call it whatever you want. It doesn't have to be named Dave's site, but you can try and grab that and see if it's been taken yet.
Is that, when you say grab it, when
Oh, meaning,
publish?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hit publish?
Yeah, hit publish, and then you're going to start,
Yeah.
yeah. So, if I hit Eileen's site, it's been taken. If I put Eileen portfolio, it's been taken. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a date in there, 2020 Eileen site. Let's see if that has not been taken. Usually if you add a number, you're good to go. So now, right here where it says manage my site, if you click on that, this is where it's the same as you can share it with your parents, you can share it with,
Is that under, so like when I hit the publish,
mm-hmm.
that all went away? Do
Oh,
get that back?
okay, all right, let me, I'll do the step you did so that you can see. We're gonna go back up to the publish button, but notice now it has this drop down arrow.
Right.
You're gonna click on that, and then you're gonna go to publish settings,
Oh, got it. Okay.
all right? Oops,
Then hit manage.
yes. Hit manage.
Okay.
Oh, what just happened? Oh, mine's freaking out. Oh, here it comes. Okay. All right, so the manage is where this, it looks the same exact as when you share a doc or whatever. So in there, kids can collaborate now in sites.
So mine says right now custom URL when I hit that.
Oh, okay. So you don't need a custom URL. That's like if you were doing Dave Perrine's sports, whatever,
Okay.
you could buy your own URL so you don't have that ridiculously long sites.google.com/view/whatever. Mine didn't save, so I'm gonna quickly catch up.
Do I need to do anything else with this now that we're in like the published settings? When I hit manage, that's what came up.
So when you hit manage, and I'm in manage right now, do you see this?
No.
No. Okay, then I'm gonna.
It says ask for that custom URL.
Oh, you're at the wrong manage. So that's the one, that's this one on the right. There's one over here on the left. Who can view my site?
I don't have that.
Oh. Let's see.
It says, I only have the custom URL managed, and then underneath that search setting, this request public.
All right, let's go back up. Then let's go back up to the publish and the drop down arrow, and let's click on review changes and publish. Oh, no changes to view. That's not right. Hold on. Publish settings. Custom URL, search settings, request public settings. Okay, the manage is not there. And that's probably because we've got this share with others button up here. And when we click on that, now it comes up.
Okay.
Okay? All right, so if you wanted to let people can either edit it or view it. So kids can collaborate in a Google site. And if you wanted to share it out to parents or do what I was talking about where you like are jurying things, you know, you're swapping classes or whatever, you can share it there too. Okay. All right, let me zoom out. Okay. So now that we have our settings set, and they can always go back in and change them. What I just want to show you quickly is over here.
Should I keep this one as like draft specific people can edit? Just leave it, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I left mine like that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's fine. Okay, so now what I want you to look at is below the publish button. You've only got 3 tabs. You have insert, you have pages, and you have themes. So I'm going to start with themes and work my way backward. So if you click on themes, you only have about 6 choices, and basically it's all about the font and and like whether it has a line under it or not. So simple is what's showing on the left. Aristotle now, if I choose Aristotle, it puts a line underneath it, and it's yellow. I don't love yellow, so I can change the color if I want a different color. See how now it's like a cornflower blue? So you're not locked into that color or that font style. So with each theme, you can choose modern, classic, or bold. And then if you don't like these colors, you can always choose a unique color. So if someone's if someone's a cheerleader or a football player and they really want to do school colors, they can put the hex code here, or they can, if they're good, you know, with colors, they can figure it out in this part here. Okay, so there aren't that many choices, which is nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to choose from. Give the kids a limited amount of time to work with, and then tell them their time's up for formatting. Okay? So go ahead and pick one that you like, and then when you're finished picking one that you like, click on the Pages tab at the top instead of Themes.
All right.
Okay, ready? Good. Okay, now, Home is the first page. Down here at the bottom, we're going to click on the plus button, and it says New Link, New Page. We need to pick New Page, and we're going to name it Task 1 because our portfolio is all about the tasks. And then when you hit Done, notice it automatically puts it up here in your menu bar. You do not have to create a menu. It does everything for you. And then you're going to hit that plus button 2 more times. You could do it up to 6, but eventually we should have 5 or 6 tasks. We just are going to do 3 for now so that you can see how it works. You see how easy this is? Joanna, you still with us?
I am.
Okay.
I'm taking
Little
notes.
spinning.
Okay.
I keep trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still spinning.
All right. So over here on the right, you can see that you've got each of your pages. So if you want to jump back and forth, you can click on it here, but you can also click on it here over in the actual bar. So no matter what, you're going to get to where you're trying to get. Okay? Let me know when you have all of your task pages made.
You want all 6 or just the 3?
Let's do just 3, and then
Okay.
that'll make you return to it. Okay, good. Now click on the Insert. Okay, now instead of looking at these tools at the top right here, I want you to look at the layouts. The layouts are brand new, and so if you, depending on how you want to set up your portfolio by task, you can, and I'm on task 1 right now. It doesn't matter what you're on because you can always delete it. But if you just click on one of those layouts, it automatically plunks it right down for you, and all you really have to do is click on it to decide what it is you want to do in that space. Okay, so it goes all the way down to 4. It does a single with text. It does 4 pictures or 4 items with text. And what's really nice is you can pick anything that resides in Drive and plunk it right onto your website. So if you have pictures in Drive, you can just go grab your pictures and put them across here. But if you have a student who made a spreadsheet in math class to show whatever it is he needs to show, they can also use, because the spreadsheet needs to be big, they can double click down here in this empty area, and then they can go to Drive. They can find their file, and wait till you see this. I'm gonna pick, let me find one. Here we go. All right, so this is Disney ticket prices. Now, you can stretch this farther down so that the whole spreadsheet can be seen, but also if you click up here on this preview, and I'm going to show you what happens when I do that. I can see what this looks like, and this is why teachers like teaching from their pages. This is actually live. This spreadsheet is live. So the teacher they can pop it out using this right here, but they can also scroll back and forth. And so it's so functional, it's crazy. And then to get out of it, I just click down here on the exit button to get back into edit mode. So when kids make things in Google, then they can just plop them straight onto their portfolio, and then they can just click to add text wherever they want. So this could be, what is our first thing? I think it's learner profiles, right? So you can type whatever you want. Now, that was if you are using the layouts, okay? Over here on the left, you've got an artist's palette, and you can have a solid background, you can have a grayed out background, or you can have a white background, okay? Now this just looks like it's all grays, I guess because of the color that I picked. I need to pick something else. Let's see what happens now. Yeah, I don't like that. All right, so you are limited to choices. So this is only grayscale for this one, but you can colorize your backgrounds. You can also duplicate using the copy icon. So if you've got one that looks exactly the way you want it, just duplicate it. Don't try to recreate it. And then if you don't want something, you can of course just hit the trash can and it's gone. Okay? So questions so far, because that was a lot. You all right? Okay.
Yeah, I was playing with it while you were, I was like deleting,
Good.
adding, doing all that stuff, so
Good.
pretty easy.
Yes. Okay, so let's say you don't like, none of the layouts works for you, let's just say. Up here at the top, you've got text box, images, from drive, and embed. So you can click here for text box if you want, but it's so much easier. All you have to do is double click and then you automatically get them. So I can hit T for text, and now I can type in my goal because I have to set my goal. When I click here where it says normal text, I can choose that it's a heading. I can boldface it if I want, and I can colorize the background. So it stands out as a heading. And then I can double click again, and I can resize this text box so that I can have text on one side and an image on the other. You can do them over top of one another. They move around. So I've got, this is my goal, but maybe I want it to be over here. All I have to do is drag it and it's done. And then I can add a picture here by clicking on the image, or I can upload it from my computer. So you've got image, upload, anything from drive, text, and embed is like if you took a video of, no, that's a bad example. Let's say, yeah, it might be a video. If you took a video and you uploaded it to YouTube, or if you had a YouTube video that you wanted to show, you could get the embed code from YouTube and then actually put it right on your website so the kids don't have to go looking for it. It's completely fail-safe. So you can do it by URL and it'll embed it, or you can put the embed code. And I'll do a video so that you know you can see how to do that. But after you've done anything to your site, then you have to go back up to the publish button and hit publish because you're in edit mode. And this is a brand new feature right now. Right, they're showing you what the last update looks like on the right and what the new update looks like on the left, so that you don't accidentally overwrite something. Because if you publish it, you can't go back in history the way you can in Google Docs. So once it's done, it's done. Okay? So you can look at each page from the left to see what changes you've made, and then if you're happy with them, You hit the publish button as a final publish, and now it's live for the world again. And then besides that, they have these new features down here underneath the layouts. Collapsible text is the one where you click on it and then it expands, and then you click on it and it shrinks. You can create a table of contents. An image carousel is super nice. You can add buttons, a divider. You can add from YouTube right by here. You can put a calendar on your page. You can see that there's just so much. So these are all shortcuts to using the double click as well. Instead of having to click on Drive from here, you can just use this over here. So, okay. That was a lot. And it's 8 o'clock. We're almost finished. All right, Dave, are you ready to share your screen with us?
I guess so.
All right.
If you tell me how.
Okay. All right. So you're going to go back to your Google Hangout slide. I'm going to stop presenting. And remember, you're going to click on the "You are presenting." Okay? So let me stop presenting first. Okay, good.
Oh, and then I would just slide my. So you want me to hit that?
Yes.
Entire screen or a window?
Choose, you can, whichever one works. Just make sure you pick the right one.
Is it there?
Nice, yes.
Is it there?
Yes, you've got the ocean, the sea.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
So how come I can't see that?
Because you're presenting.
So that okay. So if I was in here, now you can see me hitting these buttons.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, I got it.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
I got it. All right. Cool.
So think about kids who are on, like, what do they call it? Homebound. And needing help, right? And you know that the people who do homebound, if they're anything in your area like they are in our area, it's one person who has to teach everything to every kid, and they're not qualified, right? But you could conceivably do a hangout with a kid to teach them something, you know? Or I'm also going to do a video showing you Screencastify, which is what I use for to do my videos, and they just completely upgraded it. The free version is phenomenal. They took the watermark off. You can do up to 5 minutes of a video before it, like it'll cut off at 5 minutes, but you have an unlimited number of videos that you could make. So you could do a part 1, part 2, part 3 if you needed longer. So those are some things that you can do to flip your classroom, or to start having some opportunities to do station rotation, and you know that the video is right because you made it. And also, kids are funny. They like hearing their own teacher's voice. As much as we hate hearing our voices, they prefer their teacher. So something to think about. What can you show us, Dave, on your thing? What were you able to add?
I started deleting everything just because I wanted it to go back to where we were, but like just playing around.
Mhm.
So I started with this,
Mhm.
and this was just fascinating to be able to do that, and then like you said, shrink that down,
Mhm.
add a picture. So I double click again, yeah, to add it. I mean that's like
Yeah.
super easy.
Right? I know.
Used, and so the collapsible text of what? That's where they can expand it, or
Yes, so if you type something in both of those boxes, the bottom box won't show unless they click on that arrow to make it show. So I could see you doing, like in math, if you were to do this, you could have the answers be in there. And the kids would challenge themselves to do the problem, and then they click on that to see the answer.
Joanne has been doing that, obviously in a different way, like which is the paper, but it's
Yeah.
there.
Right. And they just keep adding, like that collapsible text is brand new. It's the first time I saw it was today. The table of contents is cool. Every time you add something and format it as a heading, it automatically will add to the table of contents up top.
So when we're doing this, as we do things, this is where we're adding what we do.
Yes.
To what you're asking us to do. And what we're asked to do, we would be able to use any of these features to put in, like if we gave, is this where that we said if we gave, we created something for the kids that they use, like some kind of task that we could upload it into the portfolio?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Pretty simple.
Yeah. So if you have a digital copy, you can just put it in Drive and add it, or you could just take a picture of it with your phone if you've already printed it out. I'm not looking for digital skills. I'm looking for, what you used.
What it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then a description of it, how did you do it? And don't get hung up on making it be a lesson plan for a substitute, right? Or an admin. That's not what it's about. Just describe it, tell us how it went, and tell us what you would do differently next time, right? Because that's what we do as good teachers, right? We think about that all the time. But the power is in being able to look at one another's and go, oh my God, what a great idea that was. And then, well, how did that go? That I'm worried about how that might not work, or whatever. So, all right, questions.
For me now, it's just going to be get in, do it.
Yeah.
And there's already stuff here I think Joanne and I will talk about.
Yeah.
Incorporate slowly.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And the whole idea is to take risks. Don't beat yourself up. It will always blow up in your face the first time. Just expect it, right? And then because the way I figure it is, we're all what I call edupreneurs. And just like entrepreneurs, they have an idea, they try it out, it didn't work, they figure out what didn't work. Don't try to make it perfect. If you're trying to make it perfect, you'll never launch, right? Get it as good as you can get it within the time you have, and then jump, and then figure out what worked, what went well, celebrate that, and then say, okay, but this didn't work, so now we're going to work on that. And that's how, in my experience, the best teachers that I have, that's how they grow. Because they say, well, that didn't work, but they don't give up, right? Okay, let me jump back to my slides so I don't forget. Oh, I need you, Dave, to get your link. So go up to the what looks like the paper clip and click on it, and it's going to pop open, and all you have to do is hit copy link, and then you have to jump back into Google Classroom, and now we have to find, we're going to go into classwork. And where is it? Did it not come out? Did I do it wrong? I know I put it here. Oh, maybe I saved it as a draft. Hold on. Let me go back to my teacher self. Let me go back here. Classwork. Yeah, I saved it as a draft. Okay. So now I'm going to go live with that. Okay. So I'm hitting post now, and it says your portfolio link. You might have to refresh because I just posted it. And it's at the top of the stream if you're in the stream.
I got you. I just sent it.
Okay, good. All right. And I'm going to put mine in there. Okay. All right. Let me go back into my slides. I'm going to take over the screen again real fast. Oops. Poor Joanna.
I'm here. My dog's barking.
Yeah. Are you, your internet is,
Yeah.
what a pain. Oh man, the turn on captions really works well. That's awesome. All right. I'm gonna choose my entire screen. And I want this one. Okay. So we did the classroom assignment. We built the portfolio. We did that. That's it. We're all done. We're all done.
So now we'll just, I don't want to jump the gun, so we're going to go into Google Classroom and start doing all the, that's where we'll see all the assignments and all that.
Well, this is what I wanted to ask you, because what I ended up doing was I started kind of repeating myself, and I don't think that's a good idea. So I want to put everything in the LMS that you enrolled in, and then from there, if you're told to go to Google Classroom, then you will. But otherwise, always go there first, and then only leave it when you have to. All right. Any questions?
No, it was good. Thank you.
All right. You guys have been fantastic. That was long. It was 2 hours and 15 minutes. Thank you, though. Thanks for hanging in there. And shoot me emails if you need to. I might not get to them within 24 hours, but I will get to them. And please, if anything's not working about the course, let me know. You won't hurt my feelings. Don't worry. I just want it to be a good course, and I want it to work for you guys. All right?
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
All
See
right.
ya.
Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow.
See ya.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.